There's a category of dev work that isn't hard, it's just slow. Converting a Jenkins file, figuring out why a pipeline is failing, triaging a security vulnerability. The boring stuff. Hi, I'm Colleen Lake. I'm a developer advocate at GitLab, and today we're going to look at Duo Agent Platform, or DAP, as I like to call it, and we'll see what it can do to deal with those sorts of tasks. All right, let's get started. So our first use case is a broken pipeline. This is where I started to see the value of DAP. I broke this pipeline in 3 of the most common ways I see pipelines broken on the forum or in support tickets. Usually someone comes with one of these issues, but I wanted to really test DAP, so I messed my pipeline up beyond belief. Truly atrocious levels of mess here. So the 3 ways I broke it were, number 1, the classic artifact path mismatch. So my build script outputs to a folder called build, but my artifacts config is looking for dist. This one's kind of brutal because the build job passes, it looks totally fine, but then your test job fails, and there's some cryptic error about missing files. I see this a lot. Someone refactors, forgets to update the artifacts path, and spends an hour or 2 wondering, why, oh why, their tests cannot find anything. Second, I set up my test jobs with needs, builds, and artifacts true, which sounds right, except the artifacts don't exist because of bug number 1. So now I've got a cascading failure where the root cause is 3 steps removed from where the error actually shows up. Third, my deploy jobs only run when the commit branch equals main, which seems reasonable until you realize this means they'll never run in a merge request pipeline. The branch in an MR pipeline is your feature branch, not main, so you merge to main thinking everything's fine and dandy, only to discover that your deploy job has been broken for who knows how long. So, okay, I'm prompting it right now. The exact wording doesn't fully matter. You don't have to be precious with it. I'm telling it, my pipeline is failing, diagnose the issues, ask me before implementing. So let's see how it does. First pass, it fixed it in kind of a weird way, partially there, but not quite right. It's a little bit broken still. Second prompt, about 3 minutes total, everything was green, everything was working. It's not a one-shot miracle, but it was right after 2 prompts and done in less than 5 minutes, which is way faster than me digging through docs and stack traces. And when I looked through everything, it was actually fixed. And it was fixed in a similar way to how I would do it. Saved me a lot of time. And doing something that I really don't like doing. Okay, so the next use case, migrations. Migrations are tedious. Whether you're coming from Jenkins, Circle CI, GitHub Actions, or some homegrown bash scripts held together with duct tape, translating your existing CI logic to a new platform is hours of cross-referencing documentation and hoping that you didn't miss an edge case, but probably missing one if you were me. So I have a kind of messy Jenkins file right here. GitLab has a one-click converter for Jenkins files. It works really well for simple cases, but the one I have here is kind of messy, and I want to do a bit more than convert some stuff. I want to make sure that the logic merges with the CI I already have. So the agent is incredibly helpful here. What I'm going to have it do is I'm going to tell it, convert the Jenkins file to GitLab CI, look at the existing YAML, match its style, use the same image, same stage names, wherever they overlap, default to this, and integrate the Jenkins job into what's already there. Don't replace it. Don't break anything. Please, please, please don't break anything. So let's see how it does. All right, that was very easy. It merged the logic. I verified everything works. Then I was able to just delete the Jenkins file. Done. The same principle here should apply to most migrations. Whatever you're using, Circle CI, GitHub Actions, DAP understands both source and destination formats and can reason about how to combine them. And that works better than a converter and takes a lot less time than doing it yourself. All right, our last use case for this video is security triage. I'm going to be real with you. This one took some effort. I introduced a bunch of vulnerabilities by using an old version of Axios, and I expected it to just pick them up and run with it. The security analyst did pick them up, but it wasn't that smooth. Part of it was me. I was fumbling with settings, and I didn't have everything configured right. And part of it was the tool. I spent, I don't know, maybe half an hour until it actually worked. But once I got there, it did work. It worked really well. The agent explained its vulnerabilities, it identified the affected code paths, and generated the fix. It was not magic. It was less annoying than doing it all myself, but there were some times that I was cursing computers for even existing. That said, it was way faster than digging through CVE databases and manually tracing code paths, and overall way less annoying. I highly recommend trying it, and verifying it, and using it over and over with guardrails in. It's definitely worth it. So those are some examples of great use cases for DAP. What you use it for really depends on your own comfort level and what you do day to day. I'm not going to use DAP to make major architectural decisions or write the bulk of my code, but that's because that's my job. But for the mechanical coordination or repetitive tasks that make development excruciating, I'm cool with handing those to the robots. I don't take pride in tracking down a pipeline typo. I just want it fixed. All right, so let's recap. DAP is for the mechanical coordination that makes boring tasks excruciating. It's great at repetitive things and fixing problems. Second, for a good outcome, focus on what you want. Third, treat it as a starting point. Make sure to iterate on any errors if there are any. And finally, if you have any questions, or you just want to share a cool project, go to forum.gitlab.com and make a post. I can't wait to see what you've made.